welcome to this week's Wrestling Wednesdays. Now, my guest this week is going to be a game changer for your mentality towards professional wrestling. We all need to be a little bit more ace. It's your favourite wrestler and my favourite wrestler, the title chief himself, Ace Matthews. Hi, Ace. How you doing?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. Genuine pleasure to have the chance to chat with you. I find what you do as a character online, as well as obviously in person in the ring, absolutely brilliant, and I think it's so engaging. So it's just a true pleasure to get the chance to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
I look forward to it. Obviously, the last time I saw you, it was at 1PW in Lincoln, and you'd put a flyer on every chair, which was obviously promoting yourself, but it felt like a nice little edge to your character and almost a way of winding up the fans in some way, if you know what I mean. What was your mindset behind that?
So I've done that that was the first time I'd done it, and I've done it since using the same designer. I had a few other designs for specific places for specific reasons. So there were a few things we were going to be doing then. So I knew the sort of promo I was going to do there. I wanted to have something just to make it look a little bit more professional, as opposed to it just being like cue cards or something. So I thought, if I've got my own face, if I am promoting and presenting myself, that makes it look a little bit more legitimate. However, people don't like that, so it helps to sort of wind up the crowd a little bit. And then again, with that being 1PW, obviously they had Rhino on, they had John Morrison on, they had all sorts of massive names, and then there's little old me. So it's just to introduce people a little bit to who I am, and hopefully get some sort of reaction, which ended up working an absolute treat on that show. And and then I mean, I've been thinking about doing it for ages, and I thought I'm going to absolutely do it for that. I recorded a little promo so I could have a QR code on it there that genuinely works. If you've still got one of those flyers, the QR code works there. And then people don't seem to do that sort of thing, so I thought it's a bit different, stands out. It puts me out there, and I sort of stole the idea off Reese from putting his business cards out to sell his merch. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm just going to do it with my face on it, so people can see me, and it's a little introduction to who Ace Matthews is.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a really clever way of adding to the story as well. It makes you feel part of. You've got a tangible thing in your hand that's, you know, it's an old school thing. I'm still a program buyer, and I still love having event posters and things like that. Yeah. It's just a nice tangible way of making the story a little bit more detailed, because it makes you think, oh, who's this guy? What's he up to? What's this got to do with the show? You know, what's going to happen? And obviously, you know, it gets the reaction that you wanted, which is to antagonize people into seeing you be harmed, shall we say. That's kind of how it works. But yeah, I thought it was a brilliant idea, a really, really cool idea. Obviously, you know, you've got several years of experience. You've been around for quite a long time in the UK scene, especially, and worked with some brilliant people. Before we get into a bit more of the stuff, well, how does it feel right now? It seems to be a great opportunity with new promotions, big promotions, obviously bringing people over and obviously growing the UK market themselves. How exciting is it for you at the moment that you can, you know, work more different places and against so much talent?
Oh, this is amazing. This is, I think overall, this is the best and best run I've had, for me personally. Outside of camp show seasons, this is the most shows consistently I've been. I think I've got 2 weeks at the moment where I'm not doing anything, which sounds terrible, but I think it's the first time all year that I haven't been doing anything. So what did I do instead of this weekend? I went and watched another wrestling show with some friends. So, but yeah, it's brilliant. And it seems that we've sort of got over the little, or are getting over the little COVID dip, and starting to really push the British wrestling scene again to hopefully get to the sort of heights that we were before COVID, and like the way that it was riding high then. So I think bringing back 1PW there and having that sort of major league interest in it is definitely a big thing that's then hopefully going to spread again throughout everybody else. Like, yeah, it's very exciting. And for me, I'm just very, very excited, very grateful to have that opportunity, that platform to be on, and people to start to learn who I am.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it does feel pretty hot at the moment. Everything, you obviously got a great experience with Tidal, and we'll have to get into your reign there as the Tidal chief and the champ. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask about North NCL. That seems to be really taking off. They're getting obviously great shows anyway, brilliant UK talent, but they're obviously importing some talent from America, etc. How have you been finding their crowds and their events?
That was incredible. I made my debut there 2 weeks ago as we're filming now. And that's something that we've sort of had in the pipeline, that started off from me just trying to poke and just try and knock on the door a little bit, just wind a few of the right people up. Luckily I had a few people on my side thinking this will work really well here. People will tend to hate this guy. So but yeah, I was buzzing to first of all be asked to go up there, and actually getting there, like, I was just buzzing around all day. Like, the way that they treat you is absolutely amazing. Seeing everyone there is an awesome team of wrestlers, everyone backstage, everyone working on the whole show, and that crowd is incredible. I mean, so there's a point I was in there, and Amir Jordan, he cut me off and made his entrance, and that is the loudest I've ever heard a crowd. Like, I think I said to the referee, "Oh my word, this is insane." But it's absolutely brilliant. They accepted me as someone they didn't want to see immediately. It's mad, isn't it? Talking in that way.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to be there, and I know they've got a massive show coming up in a couple of months, and just very exciting to see what that can do and where that can go. Yeah, I mean, it's such an awesome venue. Like, if anyone gets a chance to go, like, absolutely do it, because you'll come out with your eardrums bleeding, but you'll have had a very good night.
Well, that's brilliant though. You obviously mentioned the fact that fans automatically, they take to you in that way. You must be quite proud of it, obviously, when you reflect back on and thinking, I've worked with this character and I've built this and it's paying off. That must give you quite a good...
it's starting to really get there. It's something I've been working with and working along for a while, and I think since COVID it's starting to really hit stride. One of my favorite things about it is so I've got some custom music made over lockdown. Had everything ready to go there, and it's getting to the point where my music's starting to hit, and it's definitely not a cheer, it's not a boo, it's starting to get a groan, which I'm taking as a compliment, but you never know. But then again, if people really don't want to see me, it feels the same to me. So
you set up your own genre there, aren't you, of crowd reactions, which is brilliant. But I mean, that's the beauty of what all you guys do when you're telling stories. It's you're getting that reaction, and to be able to do that across multiple promotions just shows people must be paying attention and following you and understanding. To have that reaction, know who you are when your music hits. That says a lot about the work you do, and I see it all the time. You're brilliant at putting these photos up where it looks like you've interrupted someone backstage and you're making out you're really mates with them, and it's just all these clever little nuances that you add that I'm really intrigued about where that came from. You obviously mentioned it was probably during lockdown, really, you were delving into things. Is that how it sort of came about? You thought, I'm going to just create this character and I'm going to go...
So the pictures and the video thing, it came from just thinking of ways to interact in social media in a different way, to be in character all the time, and then just to have a little bit of fun about it. So I have a bit of fun with it. So I started doing the pictures towards the end of last year. It was a way just to start creating some content. They're cool memories for me as well, for people I've worked with and shows that I've done there, but just to reinforce that reaction that I get from the crowd there. And then the videos is like the next level. So it felt like a natural step. But then with the video as well, is you can make it a lot more entertaining. People are very happy, or tend to be very happy to do them, because ultimately they can just buy me up, or I mean, obviously they want to be really nice to me, so they have to act like they're not very happy to see me. But then again, it's just reinforcing again to people who maybe haven't seen me before, the sort of reaction that they can expect everyone to give me. Plus they're entertaining as well. Like it's fun for me to do. It's fun for other people to do. I had a few people come up to me and ask me to do videos, which is awesome. And then, like, I mean, I've had some really big guys who've done some videos with me, and they've been really happy to do them. As soon as I tell them, like, all you have to do is just not be happy to see me, they go, "Yep, cool." And then just to watch it, it's just funny, isn't it? It's just silly. So it's a good way of engaging people whilst keeping that character going through a separate entity being social media.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I think it's nice as well because you're not just doing it on your own. You obviously are bringing other people into it, which in turn
So I can
promote them,
bring their characters in as well. And I did a really cool one with Gene Money a few weeks ago, where we ended up just filming each other, and so he was doing one of his promos, I was doing my thing, and we bumped into each other and had a little face off, and there seems to be a match coming out of it as well now. So yeah,
brilliant. This is the thing, and this is, I suppose that's what the beauty of modern technology for professional wrestling is. You can really work, you can help promote your career and really get it across and help develop those storylines and interaction, and it gives promoters the opportunity to see who's really interactive online, who gets a following, who can they build a story around, and like you mentioned obviously earlier, when people groan about the entrance music starting, it's because of all that work you're putting in. People remember who you are and have that connection. But I cannot wait to see what the next few months holds, because it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. It's really exciting. But I wanted to obviously ask about your time with Tidal as the Tidal chief. Obviously there was a scenario now where a colleague of yours is banned, I believe, from the next event, but they've made sure to ensure that you turn up. They've named the show after you with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Galaxy, something like how are you looking forward to that? And what's going to happen now? You're kind of on your own.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Because like they've named a show after me, which is like just silly, but it's awesome. Like I take it as a massive compliment, but it's ridiculous, isn't it?
So how big a star you are now?
I've been making a couple of friends at Tidal. Chase may have assisted me in the last one, and hopefully be back at some point in the future, because I'd imagine would probably be the future tag team champions as well as being the Tidal chief. Seems to be the natural order of things, where I just turn up and collect all the belts. But yeah, I've got a couple of little things that I want to try and entertain people with on the Guardians of the Galaxy show. A couple of little tricks up my sleeve. Obviously, people will be turning up mostly to learn to hear what Ace has got to say that week, because he's definitely the most popular and influential wrestler on the Tidal roster. He probably has been for several years as well. Just that now people are starting to realize, what they've not been paying attention to in the past. So I don't have an opponent scheduled for it, which is fine, because I've been defending it against Scotty Rourke, Rampage Brown, and Sam Gradwell twice, and that's more than enough for 1 year at the moment. I could probably, if you take the MJF sort of way of working, I've got another couple of years to ride that out. Yeah. And then see what's next. Yeah,
it's exciting though. It's brilliant though, and like you say, because you've built that relationship with them over a long period of time, it must be really, really, really. And obviously, I know people will love you really. They just boo you because there's part of what they're made to do. But it must be really fun that they keep hoping they're probably going to get what they want out of it, and then you keep defeating people, you keep beating people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great when a character like yours that will antagonize someone still wins, and doesn't always win clean, but keeps winning, and it backs it up. It's very much like comparisons like obviously with, you mentioned MJF, but like the Miz, he's brilliant at it. He's brilliant at getting a crowd wound up, but he's actually can go, and he's a really.
Oh, the Miz is incredible, absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So Miz and Ace at some point we need to kind of get them in the same team.
I think that's probably something to look forward to for next year. I think that's probably the next big thing for him. I think.
Yeah, he's got to come down to Tidal, North NCL. Add a few more events onto his list, and put some Hollywood over with him.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I wanted to go back before we speak a bit more about your events coming up. 2015 is sort of where I sort of probably started hearing of you a little bit in terms of a couple of matches that you'd done, and you worked obviously with some quite well-known names that now when people look back on, obviously the likes of Joe Hendry and Pete Dunne, and obviously you mentioned that recently working with Rampage Brown and Amir Jordan. What is it that when you look back and think, right, it's been like 7 or 8 years of action if you take a little bit of the COVID time out? What are some of your highlights out of that time? I mean, you've worked with some fantastic people over your career so far.
Oh wow! So yeah, my first ever match, I had a 4-way. I was replacing Matt Myers, who couldn't make it. It was on a Wednesday night in York at a place called Monkey Madness that Nathan Cruz had taken me down to go work in. So I had done a Rumble before that, so that was my first proper match. And I was in there with Pete Dunne, who now Butch, Damien Dunne, and Ryan Smile, who at the time were 3 of the biggest guys in the UK. And so I was there. I was absolutely loving it. I was completely out of my depth. But yes, to say that I had my first match with Pete Dunne, and he was amazing with me. Like I think I worked pretty much the entire time with him, and he just made it so easy for me. Just awesome fun. It was great. As I said, I've come up through NGW as a sort of the main place that I come through. That's where I trained for the most part, as their school was going there. So I think I made my debut for them at City Hall, Hull City Hall, against Joe Hendry. So I saw him again a couple of weeks ago, and I was having a good chat with him as well. He's doing ridiculously well in America and everywhere now. So I was just having a chat about how sort of we're doing. He was sort of excited to see how I was doing as well there. Obviously not on quite the same level as he is. So through the years I've done quite a few things. I had a good tag team with Dave Graves. Unfortunately, he doesn't wrestle anymore, but he was excellent. So we were Team Sports, Go Team Sports, and Ace Athletic, which also had Benji and Miles Kamen, who was excellent now, by the way. There. Also, when Benji was called, Miles was called Ollie White. That was his first gimmick there, before he became the Golden Boy that we know and love now. That was a really fun thing that we did throughout 3CW. And again, I don't remember the years, but it'll probably be around 2016, 17. And we had a really good run there. Just trying to recruit people, getting my face pushed through birthday cakes that had my own face on it by Grado, and having Keith Lee throw in Benji onto us. And there's videos all over the place of these. Get to do camp runs for Ulster. Brian passed away this past weekend. I had a big start of mine was doing a few runs and then doing a full summer for him. That Nathan managed to get me on there. So I had some excellent memories of that, and brought me a long way in sort of learning to wrestle and learning to work. And then again had little spells in and out with Mega Slam, and then mostly the camps with NGW. After sort of All-Star moved away from Butlins, NGW took over. So I did quite a bit there. I've had some annoying injuries, some silly injuries. I tore my pec taking a drop kick, just bumping from Adam Maxter. That was at a show at Butlins, and came back backstage, and Nathan was looking mad at me for being hurt the whole time, and he was like, "You're actually hurt, aren't you?" Like, yeah. And then I managed to snap my Achilles once, trying to fix a ring. Yeah, I'd wrestled earlier in the night, and the main event was going, and the center spring had started falling inwards, and so a few of us went out to try and fix it. I think the guys in the match had brawled backstage, so we came out, and I rather smartly thought, you know what, I can push this whole ring, I can push it all in on my own. Felt like somebody stamped on the back of my heel. Turned around, there was no one there, and I took a step, and I was like, I knew exactly what it was that I'd done it. There's a video that someone had filming from like the balcony, and there's a very low thud on the video you can hear, which is my Achilles going as well, which is lovely to watch. Yeah, but I think the biggest thing for me is coming back from lockdown. I think it helps me as an in-ring wrestler, just to have that reset, to sort of tidy up, polish a few areas, and then figure out the direction of the character. And then I think from sort of the middle of last year going into now has definitely been the hottest streak that I've had at the moment now. People starting to really pay attention and be interested, and yeah, just trying to keep pushing it as far as I can. Like it's a lot of fun, very exciting. Yeah, it's just really exciting to be lots of places now, and for people to start knowing who I am and really start hating me. It's good fun.
I love it. Well, that's the beauty of what you do. I mean, I was going to say, I think NCW, I find that really interesting how it's been such a big company for such a long time, and you know, even regular TV programs, things like that, and so many big stars there. Do you think it's kind of a bit underrated as opposed to the way people talk about other companies, for example, in the UK? Do you think it gets the praise outside of you guys? Do you think it gets praise from the outside looking in?
Well, so I think it probably would get some praise, but I think it's massively underrated. But it's also not a product that's made for an internet fan base. I think it's a product that the internet fan base would enjoy, and especially at the moment now, it seems to be characters and stories that are coming back, as opposed to it being like givable spots. And that's what NGW's always been. But it's a show that's made for families, that's easy to follow, that's got clear characters that you can either cheer or boo, and it's also got really, really good talent running through it. The way that it's done is, like before, they were looking at the TV stuff, so it was sort of very professional in that sort of way. But the whole ethos has been looking at the family, the mainstream crowd, as opposed to it being looking for internet fans. And you do see more and more now, more pockets of fans you might see at a North or a Progress appearing at NGW. But it still is very much a big family crowd. And again, everyone who comes to work there, everyone comes to watch, remarks on how good and how hot that crowd is. And I fully believe it's for the way that it's promoting, the way that it's aimed at those family crowds, aimed at the people who want to follow the stories and develop the relationships with the talent that they're seeing.
Yeah, and visually it's amazing as well, the way it's shot, recorded, and the way it's overall production. I mean, that must be great when you've got that to share and look at. You can, you know, because you want your own show reels and things as well, but that must be great when you can sit and look at that. And even recently when you're coming out and interrupting Nathan Cruz, and it's just that it's fun to be able to say, right, that's there, I can share that now, that's available straight away, you know, people can go on and watch it.
Exactly, and it's the sort of thing that you could imagine seeing on TV, and that's the feel that they'll be going for years, that they've been trying to get something on that level. I mean, it would be amazing if we could have a weekly TV show over here in the UK. I mean, World of Sport nearly did it. But yeah, that's the sort of production that's needed. And I think that's been a big focus on it. And again, if it looks good, it's going to attract more people than something that doesn't look as good. Just if you look at the casual fan who looks at something and thinks, "Oh, that looks like WWE." Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of your events coming up soon in June. You've got NGW. You're in a Destiny Rumble, where obviously they're encouraging people to want you to be harmed, because they're suggesting that 19 people have the opportunity to assault you in no uncertain terms, in a boot to the face kind of levels. What are you looking
I'm
for?
number one. So yeah, I'm number one. So what do you expect? Like I'm the one they're all coming for, because they put me at number one because I'm number one. That's what being number one means. It means you are the best. Yeah, they give me like a handicap, so I've got to get through everyone, which seems unfair, but really you take it as a compliment, because they wouldn't put me there if they didn't know I could do it. And everyone gets to meet me, don't they? So yeah.
Yeah. I think some in-ring selfies halfway through the match would be quite funny when you've got through the moment. Is there anyone in NGW that you would prefer to avoid stepping in the ring with during that Rumble?
I wasn't a fan of Nathan last time there. I mean, he did beat me twice, but third time's the charm. If Adam Maxted's in it as well, I mean, he once drop kicked me so hard that it tore my pec, and that didn't seem like a particularly nice thing of him to do. And Amir Jordan is quite annoying as well, because like he just wants to dance. He didn't take anything seriously. I don't know how he's got this far, to be honest. And to be fair, there's a guy called Vusic as well who does look a little bit scary. So I'd probably probably be friends with him, to be fair, because if he's friends with me, he won't want to hurt me.
Exactly, you need to recruit him into what would we call it? The ace line, or the blood ace? You need your own version of it. I don't know what you're going to call it, but you need your own faction group. So everyone can be ace with you. Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting. Obviously, the Amir Jordan side of things. Obviously, the NCL event you mentioned about debuting at. That was a multi-man match, wasn't it? And it was Amir involved. Will Cruz obviously involved. And you mentioned obviously the crowd reaction. What is it like working with those guys?
So technically, I wasn't in there for very long. In fact, I don't think any of us touched, because they were probably scared. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Rory Coyle came and he wasn't even in the match. So, that sort of shows what sort of impact that Ace Matthews has, is that someone who's not, there's eight people in the match, there's 7 other people. And any one of them has got an opportunity to come and like be the first to greet me, and he had to make it all about him and jump me instead. So I think that tells you all there is to know about that, and about him as well. But yeah, they are awesome. They're the best. So I've worked with Amir for several years. He's such an awesome person. I think that he and Doris have been quite similar in the way that they've come out, and they've just been themselves, and they're such likable humans. And that really translates through their characters. Whereas some people like me who come out and we're such dislikable humans, comes and just displays in their characters the other way around. But I think they're doing so well just because of that, because they can come out, people can connect with them, people want to be around them. So yeah, I think working with them is absolutely brilliant. And then Will Cruz just kills people, isn't he? Like he's an absolute beast. Yeah. I've never worked with him actually, not directly, only indirectly. But he'll be fun as long as he didn't kill me. It would be pretty fun to work with, I think.
He doesn't kill you. That's brilliant. That's the best line. I love it. Well, hopefully, you never know. You might get. They might be able to set it up as a one-on-one for Tidal. That could be your opponent at Guardians of the Galaxy. See, no.
I don't think it should be. No, I don't think I need an appointment. I think like they've named it after me, so it should be like a special guest who comes to just entertain and inspire. That's probably the best way of doing that.
Yeah. That's all they booked you for, really, is just to come in. You'll sell the tickets by knowing you're there, just do your appearance, and then you can speak and honor everyone and leave for the night.
You get it. You get it.
Yeah. So come on, Tidal, be more ace. You need to be way more ace. Thanks. You've got it's sort of back-to-back events, really. You've got the Rumble on the 23rd of June, and then the day after is obviously Tidal for the appearance. So obviously after the Rumble, you kind of need a breather anyway, won't you? So it kind of makes sense to not have to wrestle 2 days in a row.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean, the Rumble will be all about me. So Tidal will be like my celebration show, I think, named after me. And then I might even pop up to North afterwards as well and see how they're doing there and try and make some friends before their big show. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. It'll be a good couple of days. Busy, but glorious couple of days.
And that's the thing I love. I was looking forward now to the random photos you take and the selfies you take and the comments you're going to write. I'm just excited about that more than anything else. I know it's coming for the next few weeks. It's like when your books are like there'll just be loads of just a little bit of your face on show and then their reactions in the background, which are always so spot on. And I do wonder, how fans around the world must take to this, because it's got a real sarcastic British humour to it, so it must be quite a nice thing for others to go, is he being serious or is he joking? I'm not sure, but it's great. It's like, are they really his friend? Does he not realise? But yeah, it's good. It's going well. Obviously, we touched base earlier on the creativity side of what you do with the flyer and interacting, obviously, with everything we've done across social media that you talk about. Going forward, if fans want to recognise their love of you rather than their moan and groans, how can fans support you? Have you got any sort of merchandise you can promote, and where can they come and see you apart from the shows we've already mentioned?
They may. So I am on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I think it's mostly the first three of them, mostly Instagram, Twitter, and a little bit of TikTok at Let's Be Ace. Everything is at Let's Be Ace. If you just search for that, it's probably me. I have seen some fake accounts though, which is cool. So there've definitely been, I know, it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, there've been some imposters. So that's why if you see that, it's probably me. If it's awesome, it's obviously me. I do have t-shirts, which I'm sporting now. So if you want to be Ace approved and to, get the recognition, the respect that I get everywhere, as you can tell by everyone when they meet me and my pictures and my videos, you just need one of my t-shirts, which you can get from any of the shows that I'm at, or you can just give me a message and I can get one sent to you. I also have some pictures, some 8x10s, and some badges as well. And if you see me at a show, I've got a cool little graphic that has all the prices and things on there as well, that just shows how professional Ace Matthews is.
In terms of, obviously, there's so many good promotions at the moment that are starting off, new ones, obviously, that have replaced companies that are no longer with us after the COVID lockdowns. Are there any companies or any wrestlers in particular that you're sort of eyeing up and hoping that you get to work with this year or over the next 12 months?
Yeah, so I'm mostly based around Yorkshire, the Northeast, Lincolnshire. So I really would like to try and expand out of this area. Because it's going well now, but just I think the more people who get to see me, more people get to entertain the character, or be entertained by the character, or not be entertained by the character, would be a great thing. And it would be awesome for me to be able to do that. So yeah, I mean, there's obvious places like Progress, which I think would work really, really well. But obviously, it would take a lot of work to get there. I would love to do that. In the past, I've worked with Future Shock. I'd love to go back across there. And I nearly want to work with TNT, but then I snapped my Achilles. they look really good as well. All their things they're doing now. Scotty Rourke goes across there quite often. I had a couple of little chats with places like Wrestle Carnival. That would be awesome. I mean, their last show there looked absolutely awesome, and like the guys from round here who were there said it was so much fun. So yeah, I'd like to slowly but surely just try and creep out of the northeast, we'll call it, across the north, and then just start seeping down south as well, and just infect as many areas as I can. In terms of people I'd love to work with, so one big one that I've wanted to for a while has been Gene Money. However, that has now been announced for Pro Wrestling Zero in July the 24th in Doncaster, maybe. I think it's the 24th of July. So that'll be something I'm really looking forward to doing. Yeah, I'd like to, I mean, to be fair, I can't think of, I'll take on all comers. Yeah, I'll take on all comers. Anyone who would be a good hero, or what's the correct word for a good agonist for my antagonist, I think will be a very good good meshing of characters. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, the match with G Murray would be interesting. That's going to be built up quite nicely as well, I can imagine.
I think
I'd be quite
fun. Doing something
yeah.
quite similar from some people who like him, and then people might not like me, but it's a similar twist on a character. I think would be a very fun one to do as well.
Very much so. I'm quite excited at the thought of seeing you in some events in London against maybe some locals as well that are probably fan favourites, and it's be quite fun. Almost you're making Britain ace tour, kind of, not to reference a certain politician in America, but if you know what I mean, that kind of, it's got so much making of the beauty of what you can do and expand with it. So I really hope to see you at a lot more shows, and I'm looking forward to obviously seeing you in action again at some point soon. I'll have to make sure I come along and get myself an Ace Approval T-shirt at some point down the line. It's going to be needed. I've got to make sure I am. I suppose the last sort of thing I was going to ask you about was just that sort of relationship you got with Nathan Cruz, really, and because obviously you mentioned it slightly earlier about the training and the schooling you came through, and now obviously you've got a nice little sort of feud in NGW with him, really, where it's hopefully you'll get your win over him at some point soon. But as a outside of characters and more in real life, what's Nathan like, and what's that relationship like between you both?
Nathan's awesome. So Nathan was he's pretty much been my main trainer throughout my wrestling career. So first at NGW and now at Evo at BWR. It's been him as the head trainer there, and he used to be the one who was taking me out places. Now when I'm going, I'm taking a couple of other guys with me. But he's put me into most places that we've been. He's been through his ups and downs, and he's currently doing brilliantly. He was back at Progress this last weekend for Super Strong Style, and he just came back with a glowing review of it there. Everything that I've heard from there said that they were absolutely buzzing to see him back there. And I think that came about from posting about him online, about him being the first champion there, and people just wanting to see him back. And he's come back. Like he's doing massive things there at BWR, at 1PW, NGW. I can't speak highly enough about Nathan. He's one of, I'd consider him the second best wrestler in the UK and Europe, behind Rampage Brown. And I won't mind me saying that, because Rampage is literally the best. He's someone that's just hard to believe he's not at a big company, because he's got everything, and he understands everything. If you watch him, say watch him at 1PW when he's working the cameras, where he's working through whatever matches in there, he's taking charge of it there. He's connecting with the fans. He's every little nuance there. Like you can just see he believes in everything. And yeah, he's just next level, I think. And as a person as well, he's awesome. Yeah, so one of my best friends. And yeah, he's been through a lot of stuff. He's doing very, very well at the moment. Yeah, he's a very good person. It's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Nearly. If I beat him, he might become ace.
He's got to earn that, hasn't he? He's got to earn that ace stamp of approval from you with a nice beating. So it's good. Most underrated promotion in the UK.
Most underrated. Ooh. Say NGW is very underrated, but it's also quite big. I'll go with NGW. Yeah.
Okay. Most exciting talent that you've noticed in the last 6 months.
Vusic.
Okay. Person you are most looking forward to seeing either in the ring or backstage this year.
Seeing. I said for a while. It's always nice to see Liam Slater. I like Liam. Yeah.
Who do you believe has got the biggest potential from a high flying point of view in the UK?
Is Leon Slater the obvious answer? Yeah.
Got to be up there, hasn't it? Surely. Okay. A couple of things. Most embarrassing moment you've had in the ring?
I fell out of the ring once. Yeah. This would have been. I was talking about this yesterday. This would have been. I would have been inside 20 matches at the time, and I was working for Mega Slam, and we were doing a show at Scarborough Pavilion. Is it the Pavilion at Scarborough?
Okay.
And the ring was about 6 foot from the edge of the water. And I was in a tag team match. And so I was on the good guy side. And we'd started off, we'd come out, we'd challenged the bad guys, they'd beaten us down, they'd whipped us off, we'd ducked under their clothesline, and then we were going to hit the ropes and come back and attack them. But my tag team opponent, who I think was Josh Alden, who doesn't wrestle anymore, but I did see him recently at True Grit, he hit the rope slightly before me, and it was a little bit wet because we were outside. And so because of that, they were already open a little bit, and it was at the point where they're just going to shoot you back, except I went in between the top and the middle rope as he came in, and he just shot me out of the ring backwards. I landed on the outside. He came in and took them out himself, and everyone just rolled around laughing. But if the ring had been all the way up to the water, I'd have fallen straight out and into the water, which would have been incredible.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, falling out the ring.
That's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. Favorite moment so far in your career?
So can I add two? One, I think, would have been that first 1PW show, where I'd made my debut there in front of that massive crowd and then got kicked in the face. That was awesome, and it got one of my favorite photos ever. The other, not winning the Tidal Championship, winning the #1 contendership contract for the Tidal Championship, where I'd had a ladder match with HD Drake for a contract to the #1 contendership. So we'd got to the venue, and there was no, for a ladder match, but there were no ladders. He'd brought the ring and could have brought ladders, but he hadn't been asked to bring ladders. And all they had was ladders that sort of stand against a wall, not like the ones that you see in wrestling that look like a triangle, until I found a tiny little step ladder. So I was like, right, this is what we're doing. So throughout the match, it started off, we're fighting, and they were like, we need to get this contract. So we're fighting to get under the ring to find the ladders. We can't find one anywhere. And I think I ended up throwing them on the out, stopping him on the outside. And an injured Dara Diablo was there to keep him down while I searched the ring for a venue, searched the venue for a ladder, and ended up coming out with this tiny little ladder, which we were then fighting over to try and knock this contract down. I stand at the top of it, and you can't reach. So I'm there trying to reach. I got a broomstick and I'm trying to knock it down, knock it down, knock it down. He comes up and knocks me all the way off this tiny ladder through a table in the corner. He's there trying to knock it down, hits it really hard, and it flips up on top of a girder so that it's now out of reach. No one can get it. So he manages to jump up, knock it down again, hits it so hard, the clipboard that it was on breaks off, and it comes flying down as I'm laid here, broken through a table, just lands perfectly in my hand. And I am the winner.
Nice.
Just the way that happened so perfectly was, yeah, it was incredible. I stand up there. Oh, I've won.
That's incredible. That's brilliant. That's such a thing for your character as well. That's brilliant. That's
It is, isn't it?
Literally.
Such a stupid thing to happen, but yeah, worked perfectly.
That's awesome. That's really cool. One last one is if you could pick a faction right now, so we'll say yourself, a tag team, and a female wrestler and a male wrestler to work with in sort of an ace squad, who would you want to pick?
Okay. It's based in the UK.
Ideally, yeah, it could be anyone really, but yeah, ideally, we'd try and give.
So I need myself. I need another singles wrestler.
Yep.
A tag team partner.
So a tag team in general.
A tag team, a male and a female.
Yeah.
Okay. My tag team, I'll go with Reese and Rogan. Because they just destroy everyone.
Yeah.
A female, I'll go with Rio. Because again, she'll destroy everyone. And if I go along the same lines, I'll go with Rampage Brown, because again, he'll destroy everyone. And that way there, I'm going to have more time to be able to impart my wisdom, not only on them, but on everyone else that they're sort of working their way through. And I think all of them, especially Rampage Brown, would be absolutely ecstatic for me to be in a faction with them. Yeah, I think Nina Samuels would probably be quite a fun one as well, because I think that she's got a very similar personality to Ace. But Rio would just kill everyone, so that's fine.
You can have two females in the team. It's fine. It's not unlimited. It's just obviously an idea. But yeah, I love your tag team choice. They just became the two-time Fight Factory Wrestling champions last weekend. They're beasts. They're great. Yeah. They again, like you mentioned, they know how to wind a crowd up. So I would love to hear you be the voice for that group. I think it would be, yeah. I might not want to sit on the front row. There might be a few beers that are over my shoulder at this rate. If I might sit a few rows back if your team ever get together. But that's really cool. Thank you. Obviously, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Genuinely, is a real pleasure chatting with you. And I'm very lucky in my position to get to speak to any of you guys. And I think I really like your mindset and your approach to what you do in and out the ring. And it's really great to see someone from the UK put so much effort into their character and obviously try and make it even more engaging for fans to be part of the show. So thank you for all your work, and I really appreciate your time today. Looking forward to seeing you very soon. I'll put the links for the events and your socials underneath. But yeah, for one final time, it's your favorite wrestler and my favorite wrestler. Let's all be more Ace. It's Ace Matthews. So thank you, Ace.
Thank you very much.